Boom. Let's get it.
The dash is busy, the schedule busy. My head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie. My cousins are crazy, my cousins like boogie. Life is amazing, it is what it should be. Been here for 10, but I feel like a rookie. I tell her look up, cause it's snowing in Tootsie. Booked for 3 years, now you can't even book me. Me and Lil Baby, this shit going crazy. Weezy producer.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's episode 25 of the Don't Overthink It podcast. Starring me, Young and Head in.
Patrick Haynes.
And we got a special guest to the building, man. We got Big Pat, man. Patrick Haynes, Sr. in the building, man. How you feeling tonight?
I feel good, fellas. It's a pleasure to be here.
Bro, I got it on it. I got it on it, bro.
Hey, man.
Yo, man.
Pat, man, go ahead and introduce the guest, man.
The GOAT himself, man. From the chat, the legend from the chat himself, man. Bruh. Ooh, do I let you introduce yourself or do I not? I don't know, man. I got you, right? The man from Orange Mound, right? The Memphis Phenom himself, right? The number one dasher in Northern California. The man who went from 0 to hero. We got Big Pat in the building. We got Patrick Haynes Sr., a.k.a. Big Pat in the building. Pops, you know what I'm saying? Got my dad on the podcast, bro. Then I'll probably let some stuff out, man. That's a lot to cover. How would you do that?
I think you did a pretty good job. I mean, 5,000 deliveries, 500 catering orders, and a commercial under my belt. It's been a good year, despite COVID.
Hey, man, I got somebody hit me in my DMs. Miss Stephanie said she said hi because she can't comment on the vid on the live because of her
okay.
Or two, but she said hi.
Well, hi Stephanie and family. Hope Rico watching. I love the Millers. Great family, man. Got out of a boatload of tickets. Thank you, Millers.
Go ahead, Pat. How we getting into tonight?
Off the rip, bro. We getting right into the meat and potatoes, man. For people who do not know what it is that you do, go ahead and let's go ahead and fill in the guests.
Well, I'm the number one ranked DoorDasher in Northern California. Out of 2,200 people, I'm ranked numero uno. I completed a commercial in April. You may or may not, well, you've seen it, Patrick. But most people won't have an opportunity to see it. It's an in-house commercial for DoorDash execs. That was pretty fun. And, and then from that, I spun my business off and not only I do DoorDash catering, I've started my own delivery service as well. We've been very, very busy. I've been delivering to the Oakland Roots professional soccer team, one of my biggest contracts, and we're fully booked until the end of November. So it's been a very good year. God has truly blessed me, and I'm very excited about what the future holds.
Solid, bro. Yeah, man. Right. So how did you, we got to ask, bro, because when people hear that, it's like DoorDash is not something you can look at and be like, oh, yeah, boom. Your mind doesn't start rolling when you look at the whole concept of DoorDash, right? It's the type of thing that kids will get into, people get into for some extra money on the side here and there, right? You don't look at it and you're like, you start thinking, oh, I can make a big business off of this, right? Right. Tell me about your mindset in terms of what got you to the point to where you saw that you could really make something out of it, to where you can make a living off of it and then scale it to something even bigger.
Well, it's not for everyone. DoorDash is usually like a little gig and side hustle where, you got some grandmothers and young kids home from college. They just want to make a couple of extra bucks, a couple of hours a day. I saw a greater opportunity in that. I figured since I was ranked number one, well, first of all, it was a process. I've been with DoorDash for 4 years. The first 2 years of DoorDash, the first 2.5 years of DoorDash was a complete grind. I was just, like everybody else, doing regular deliveries. just trying to make some extra money, just a little side gig. It's called gig economy, just a little side gig. DoorDash was supposed to be something I was going to do while I was waiting to get approved for Uber and Lyft. But what ended up happening was I was like number 3 or number 4 as far as rankings. DoorDash has these rankings. I was like number 3 for like 2 years. There was like this young lady in front of me, and then there was a guy in front of me. They didn't have as many deliveries as I had, but I had a 4.98 customer service rating. They were at 5.00, which is the absolute best rating you can have for DoorDash. And then I started just doing my thing. My customer service was great. So my customer service compiled with my good DoorDash ratings. I said, man, I can turn this into something. My wife was skeptical. There was a lot of people skeptical of me, doing some people like, okay, you work for DoorDash. You're not going to.
It's not a sexy business, right?
It's not. It's a side hustle.
Seriously.
But because I knew so many people, I knew a boatload of restaurants. I knew a boatload of managers. I knew a boatload of customers. I started to just expand on that. And then I got a call from DoorDash. They said, hey, you're number 1. I said, no, there's a girl in front of me. Oh, she quit. And I'm like, oh, wow. So, and then my customer service rating was 5.00. I had a few hundred catering deliveries under my belt. And then I started getting requested for people. They wanted me to deliver their lunch orders, which were huge. They're not just the regular $7, $6 DoorDash orders. These orders were 60, 70, $80. I'm like, wow. I was getting one of those a day. And then I said, well, can I get that to 3 a day? And then I started getting it to 3 a day. And then COVID hit. And then I had surgery on my foot. People kind of know the backstory about that that are watching the podcast. But, even during COVID, as we were getting closer to coming out of, the deal with the shutdown, businesses started coming back. COVID was devastating. I lost my dad and aunt and uncle during COVID, and that was really traumatic to me and my family. The flip side to that is when people started working from home, there was a huge shift. It was huge for DoorDash. DoorDash hit record numbers in terms of deliveries. The catering side was down a little bit, but as we started coming back and people started coming back out and people started coming back to work, the catering orders started to pick up. And then I said, hey, I can expand this thing. And I did. I started getting calls for people saying, hey, we don't like DoorDash as much, Patrick, but we like you. So I started I've got 1, 2, 3 bakeries, 2 Indian restaurants, 2 Mexican restaurants, a plethora of other businesses. And then today we just did our first it was food, excuse me. We just did our second delivery, business delivery that had nothing to do with heated food. I delivered actually some frozen cases to a restaurant. That's something we've added to our arsenal as well. So we've been truly blessed. We're on track to do record numbers. And when your side hustle makes as much money or more money than your regular job, it's no longer a side hustle. It's another revenue stream. And that's something I've heard you and Amari talk about quite a bit. Actually, PJ, you motivated me quite a bit talking about revenue streams. And you've been watching my progress and my process. And I just put a full court press on this catering and delivery thing. And it's like fish grease. We're red hot right now.
Hey, man.
I got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
What is your goal potentially to like have your own, like, let's say like storefront or something like that, to like have it like based out of, you got your drivers and stuff like that, and then like basically have somewhere your business is located? Actually, that's what I meant.
Well, the wonderful thing about my business is we don't need a storefront. We just need vehicles. Okay. So I can run my operation. I'm based out obviously I live in Stockton. 95% of my business is out of San Francisco. The other 5% is Oakland with the soccer team. I work exclusively out of San Francisco. So I will be hiring additional drivers in the near future. No storefront. I'm going to keep my costs minimal. And we're going to just go with drivers. I don't need a storefront for what I do. I just need vehicles and people to operate those vehicles and do it in a timely manner. And our number one thing is customer service. We go above and beyond the call of duty.
Okay.
Right. So in terms of how to not be an average dasher, right? Because like we see it all the time, right? When people get into this and they get into it as like a side gig, right? People are losing out on money like the first day they get in, right? Automatically just making mistakes. That the only reason I know this, right, is because I've seen you, right, just like walking around like and my job. I'm come in contact with hundreds of these guys every single day. People are losing out on money constantly, right? Like, what would you say for someone who's just getting into DoorDash, like some kid, right, got the app on their phone? How can they make the most money, right, and just forget all the headaches, like straight to it on the fast track to get it in big money?
You've got to do what most people will not do. You've got to stay the course, because right now, from what I heard, and this is the first time I heard about this was yesterday, there's a waiting list to become a DoorDash dasher right now, which means that, and I've never heard of that. DoorDash usually just hire guys and keep hiring and keep hiring and keep hiring. Right now, they've got like a freeze on. They've plateaued as far as there's a waiting list to become a dasher now. I don't know what that means exactly, but as far as if you're already a dasher, you have to just stay the course. You know, people get frustrated. They're like, hey, I'm not making any money. I'm not getting any hits. I'm blessed to work in the San Francisco Bay Area. I hear horror stories. I hear dashers in Atlanta and North Carolina. They're like, man, I went an hour without a delivery. That's never, ever the case in the Bay Area. We're in a place, San Francisco and New York, 60% of the residents that live in San Francisco and live in New York do not own vehicles. So, and they make a lot of money. So take Stockton, for example. If you're a DoorDasher in Stockton, I really hate that I'm saying this to the general public, but if you're making $7, $8 per delivery, you know, you can make 15 in San Francisco. You have to do that. You got to get 500 dashes under your belt, and your customer service rating has to be a minimum of 4.90. Now, it's going to be tough. My wife was like, dude, you got to do something different. That was like 18 months ago. And that's when I was like, okay, what can I do to increase revenue? That's when I started reaching out to mom and pop liquor stores, restaurants, anybody that was in commerce that moved food or materials or goods. I said, hey, I can deliver for you. I'm Patrick Haynes. I'm the top dasher in Northern California. And here was the thing. Being the number one dasher in Northern California gets your foot automatically in the door with people because people want the best. You know about what happened Saturday, right, PJ? Okay, so Saturday, I had a delivery, Amari. Mm-hmm. I had a delivery to a park in San Francisco. But I guess they had a birthday party, and the lady had a problem with DoorDash. I guess a month ago for the first birthday party for one of their kids. Well, they had a second birthday party. So the lady told her husband, I want to use DoorDash for this. I want the best dasher that we can get. I can't believe we got fireworks going July the 20th. So comes to find out, my delivery was to the chief financial officer of DoorDash. I didn't know until after the fact, the chief financial officer of DoorDash requested me. He knew who I already was. When I pulled up, he knew who I was. I introduced myself. The first thing he said to me, he says, Patrick, I'm not gonna say his name. He said, I'm so and so. Can I see your customer ratings? Can I see your ratings? I broke my phone out. I showed him my ratings. He said, "Oh, it's true." He said, "It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm the chief financial officer for DoorDash." I was like, "Holy smokes!" Took a picture with him, and yeah, they tipped me. It was great, and he wants to interview me down the road moving forward. So I mean, that was a big deal. I was really excited about that. The number 3 guy in DoorDash. This is a company that their IPO was through the roof. This company's worth, I don't know, $4 billion or something like that. And he knew who I was. I was really impressed with that.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's dope to get that recognition.
It is. I'm proud to be number 1, Amari. I mean, it took me, it's a long process, man. It took me 2.5 years to get to number 1.
I remember sitting in the back when you had to when you came to pick us up from practice. You had the
bags
in the back, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, it's definitely. I'm seeing that it's definitely value. Like now, very recently, as in a couple hours ago, it's a lot of value in focusing on one thing and letting that carry everything else. Right? It's definitely a lot of negatives that come with spreading yourself out thin. Like basically, bro, it's like the saying, came up with it on the spot. Boom. You water all your trees, your fruits are sure to rot. Right.
Well, it was just, it's like it was the perfect storm, man. It was like it was COVID. It was my wanting to do more and be more. It was listening to you about the different revenue streams. Like right now, and here is the thing that's really cool, and you can vouch for this, PJ. Like even where you work, I'm the number 1 guy for your boss, right? So he's opened up a second restaurant, and the rumor on the streets is he may open up a third restaurant. Okay, so when you're the number 1 guy, and this is non-DoorDash, this is outside, this is Patrick Haynes delivery service. So as he grows, I grow. So he opened up a second location in Oakland. We picked up the Oakland Roots soccer team. I do great service for them. And then the soccer team approached me and say, "Man, we want you to do some other stuff for us outside of what you're already doing." So it's just, it's a never ending story, man. It just continues to grow, and don't get it twisted. I can be replaced. Anybody can be replaced, anytime. But like I talked to you about yesterday, there are companies out there, when I used to be in transportation, that would say, "Okay, you're charging us $85 to deliver this pallet of goods and services from Richmond to Fano, and you're doing this every day for us." But then there's company B who says, "Okay, we'll do it for you for $70." Now, I've been dealing with these guys, say, for 6 months. They haven't had any issues. And then company B wants to do it for $10 a pallet less than what I'm doing it for. And the business says, "Okay, we can save $50 a week. Let's make the switch." And somebody says, "Patrick does a really good job for us." They make the switch. Then company B, they're late.
Oh, hell breaks
loose. The packages are damaged. The customers are pissed off. Yeah. Then they come back to you and say, "Hey, we want you back." I said, "Yeah. You remember that $85 I was charging you? Now it's $100. I mean, it's just, that's just how business is. One thing I learned, Amari, in this game is, and no matter how cool you are with people, as far as the business goes, it's still business. And never ever forget that, because if you screw something up, they will replace you. But if you're doing a good job, customer service is the thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I learned that. I learned that in life.
Yeah, you got to take credit when you get it thrown at you too. Like when people say you do a good job, this is why people would tell me to be humble and stuff like that, or oh, this guy has an ego. He thinks he's this, that, and the third. You gotta be like that though, right? Because the way I look at it, it's like, of course, when you do a good job, you gotta take it and just be like, yeah, I'm amazing, right? Because when you mess up, everybody's gonna be on you then, right? Nobody's really patting you on the back when you do a good job. So
and here is the thing. Here is the thing.
Build a reputation.
You were there. I had a mistake on an order 2 weeks ago. I made a mistake on an order. It was all my fault. But how did I handle it?
You told them what happened, straight up.
I told them what happened. Before the customer called, I called the third party company that hired me. I told the company that sent me out to deliver the order. It was I got 5,000 deliveries. I've never had anything happen like what happened. I had an order that tipped over inside the bag. I told them what happened. The first thing the guy said was, "What happened?" I told him what happened. I owned it. He says, "Oh man, we're in trouble." I said, "Let me get in front of this." He said, "Well, how are you going to do it?" I called the third party vendor. I said, "Hey, it wasn't the restaurant. They packed it perfectly. This is on me." The guy told me, "Patrick, we know you're good. I'm shocked that this even happened, but I respect your character and integrity." The thing is communication, man. If I'd have been bumbling and stumbling and act like it wasn't my fault and all that, we'd still have a problem. Not only did they tell me they respected the fact that I did it, the guy who I made the delivery for that you know quite well, PJ, he said, "Man, thank you for getting in front of that. We're no longer on probation." They took him off the probation list because of that. So I actually helped the situation and remedied the situation by getting in front of it. The great thing about customer service, people want to take all the credit when things go right. But that's fine and dandy. But let me see how you respond in times of crisis. And that's where my military background and just straight from the school of hard knocks came into play on that.
Yeah. We have a question in the chat. For those of you who don't know, that used to have a trucking business. It was kind of a long time ago, right? It's the DoorDash catering remind you of your trucking business. Give people a background on that.
Who asked that question? sleeping with the enemy. I ain't even got to go no further. Okay. That's a good question. Two completely separate entities. The trucking company, we ran without a storefront as well. Here is what's ironic about those two things, about the trucking company and the delivery service. The trucking company I ran.
How long did you do that before you?
The trucking company was in effect from 2006 to 2010. It really was over about 2009. But on paper, it lasted 4 years. The trucking company started right before the housing market and the recession hit. The timing of the trucking company was bad, but don't get it twisted. There were some other issues that I was dealing with personally that also hindered the effectiveness of the trucking company. As far as the delivery service was born during COVID, and it was born more out of necessity. We knew we needed some different revenue outside of DoorDash in order to sustain, and that's when I saw opportunities and I jumped on it. I could have waited. I bet there were a lot of businesses that right now haven't opened during COVID because they're like, it's COVID, we gotta wait. But not me, not Brian, giving a shout out to your boss, not Brian at Catawba. He started a second business during COVID. The brewery, the beer company that we're affiliated with Catawba also in Oakland, they started during COVID. You can be successful during COVID. You just got to find your niche and stay in your lane. That's the thing. But that was a great question. Both were started in a time of crisis with two completely different results. But the catering and delivery service I'm proud of it. It's rolling. It's something tangible. It's something we can put our hands on. And it's growing. I probably turned down a job offer at least 2 to 3 times a month. I get job offers 2 to 3 times a month, and I turn them down. I get job offers. I get people who say, "Hey, can you do this for us?" I just can't. I'm just too overwhelmed with what I've already got going. And I've learned from past experiences, stay in your lane and don't try to do more than you can handle. Because sometimes if you try to grow too fast, it can also be a detriment also.
How so?
You spread yourself too thin, like you said earlier. I mean, you hear me use the term double booked. I'm double booked all the time during lunch. You see it. But the reason I can make it work is because if you notice what I do, and I can tell the viewers, like we both of us work in San Francisco. I base myself out of the Mission District. The reason I do that is I've got 1, 2, 3 of my biggest customers within a half block radius of each other. And that's on purpose. When I chose those customers, when we merged and formed our bond and agreement, or whatever you want to call it, business relationship, those customers are within a half mile of each other, because now I can take 1, 2, 3 orders all at the same time and get them all delivered in the time frame of the window that's allowed for me to make those deliveries, because they're all so close. I can't do that if I've got a delivery in Fremont, a delivery in Richmond, a delivery in Oakland. But I can do 3 deliveries in San Francisco, 1 to Valencia Street, 1 to Mission Street, 1 to Market Street. I can make all 3 of those deliveries in a half hour of each other. And the customers give me excellent reviews. I'm never late. That's my motto. You remember you asked me that? He said, "Man, Dad, you're never late. Even when I'm late, I'm on time."
All right, bro. All right. We got some questions in the chat. Even when you're late, you're on time, right? Can you say you're an entrepreneur by heart, or have others influenced you to be self-employed? It's a good question.
I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I always knew that I didn't want to really work for anyone else. Sometimes we have to, just out of necessity. We got to survive. But if I see an opportunity to work for myself, I'd rather make $40,000 a year for myself than make $45,000 a year for somebody else. That's my philosophy. Because I know I can grow my 40 into 80. But that 45, what's the best I could do? 50, working for somebody else maybe? And that, just depending on what I'm doing. I mean, I'm just giving you, obviously, the money doesn't mean anything. You can say 100, you can say 120, you can say 150. But I'm in complete control working for myself. I can work 16 hours for myself, or I can work, 4 hours for myself. Just depends on what I want to do. I haven't had a day off. I took a half day, I think, in the last 3 weeks, maybe. And I'm taking a day off, I think, Sunday, because we've got a big dinner planned. But I enjoy what I do. I really do. But yeah, I'm a natural born entrepreneur. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, got some more questions in the chat. Post-season D. Do you think COVID was the hardest crisis to work through?
Say that again.
Do you think COVID was the hardest crisis to work through?
Yes and no. COVID, I can work through. Losing my dad was definitely a crisis. My dad was a stabilizing force for me, especially in my adult years. Dude, it hadn't always been easy for me. I've gone through some stuff. But you know, not getting that call from my dad on a regular basis was extremely difficult to get through. My dad passed away December 27th. I think I only worked 2 days in January. You know, it was rough on me. And then I realized that he was gone and he wasn't coming back. So I sucked it up and got back to work. You know, I miss my dad. He called me every single day. And when my dad didn't call me on the morning of the 27th, I knew something was wrong. And then my brother gave me the news and I was devastated. But we have to soldier through it, man, because other people are depending on us, you know? So we have to just, suck it up and keep marching.
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah. Which, by the way, was the most hilarious funeral we've ever attended.
Wait,
wild. And man, funeral was wild. It wasn't really a funeral, I'm gonna be real. It was more like a roast. Yeah. I'm gonna be real, bro. It sounds crazy.
Legendary.
That's the way I want to go out, bro. I'm gonna be real. That's the way I want to go out. Yeah. It's gonna drop that right there, man. Yeah. If it's people laughing at the funeral, it's a good time, right? We got
the pastor was cussing.
Pastor was cursing.
We're gonna backtrack a little bit. Let's take you back to when let's say 20 years old, 18 years old, getting out of high school. Where did you see yourself?
Man, those were some great moments. At 18, I was working at a fast food restaurant. Well, first of all, my birthday is a lot like Dee's birthday. My birthday is October 21st. So I was like, out of 231 classmates, well, in Memphis, where I'm born and raised, you have to turn 5 to go to kindergarten before October 31st. Mm-hmm. My birthday was October 21st. Mm-hmm. So there weren't many kids younger than me. Out of 231 kids, I think there was only one other student that was younger than me in my graduating class. I wish I was a holdback, which would have been great for me for sports. But so when I enrolled in community college, I was 17 years old. I didn't turn 18 until October, the end of October. So, but it was great, man. And growing up in Memphis, I worked at a fast food restaurant. I went to school. I didn't really want to go to college. I went because my mom told me I had to. She was like, "You got to go to college, or you're gonna move out and get out of here." So I enrolled full time, and then I withdrew everything except for one class, just so I could say I was in school. And then when she found out about it and was pissed off, I'd already joined the Navy. So I joined the Navy at 19, and because my dogs were so bad, that's feet, in case y'all didn't know. My feet were bad, so I had to get a waiver to go into the Navy, and that delayed that. So now I'm 20, and so at 20 years old, I joined the Navy, and not just the Navy, I was on submarines.
How old are you now?
Huh?
How old are you now? People that don't know.
I'm 53. I'll be 54 in October.
Woo! Bruh. We got some age on you. Okay.
A little season.
A little. Bruh. You're definitely the oldest guest we had on so far. You know what I'm saying?
So, but to finish answering Mari's question. So when I got to the Navy, which I love, it was great. 4 years active duty, 4 years reserves. But while I was in the Navy, I was in Connecticut. And, Bryce talked about that the other day. Mm-hmm. Connecticut was unbelievably cold. But I was in Connecticut, and then I was in San Diego. And then I got to Mare Island, they was Shipyard in Vallejo, where I met the lovely Mrs. Haynes, to be Mrs. Haynes, in case y'all didn't know, LaShawn. And
your mom at
yeah, your mom. And you know, but while I was at Mare Island, I was there. I played basketball. I was there, man, with Easton Wright, tremendous basketball player. By the way, congratulations to my best friend Easton Wright, who lives in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they just won the world championship.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But I was there at Mare Island with David Robinson. In case you guys don't know, he played for the Spurs, Hall of Famer, and Easton Wright, and we had a tremendous basketball team.
Nice.
And by the way, I scored my career high against Nate Bunn's Maritime Academy.
Okay. We got some
those were some good years.
Got to drop some questions for us. So, Maria Torres, what motivated you to open your own business after being number one for DoorDash?
Now, don't get it twisted, Maria. I still work for DoorDash. I still work for DoorDash. I just expanded. With DoorDash gave me a platform and gave me an avenue to a boatload of people. And then I was being approached. Listen, my character, my customer service, my personality has always gotten me in the door. But what changed it this time, Maria, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to drop a name. PJ knows who the guy is. I was doing DoorDash catering, which I'm still doing. I still do DoorDash is a big part of what I do. I just expanded on it and started my own thing on the side. But I met a guy named Thomas LaFont. And in case while you guys are breaking out your Google to find out who he is, I'm gonna tell you who he is. Thomas LaFont runs a hedge fund in San Francisco called Coatue, Coatue. He's a hedge fund manager. He's an MIT graduate, him and his brother, Philip. I delivered lunch for them on a daily basis for about 9 months straight.
That's a minute.
It was all before COVID. Thomas LaFont pulled me to the side. He said, "Patrick, you've got incredible work ethic. I think you can do more with this." That's what got me thinking about what I could do as far as the business was concerned. And that's, that was another thing. So Thomas and I are the same age, by the way. He's got $1.4 billion more than I got, but outside of that, we're pretty much the same guy. But yeah, so that's what happened with that. And I was extreme when he told me that. I'm like, man, this guy sees something in me. When he saw something in me, it just kind of gave me that extra. I was already working my butt off, but it gave me. Sometimes we need a little push.
Yeah,
a
man.
little extra motivation.
$1 behind your name will definitely let your words hold a little more weight.
You don't really notice something about yourself until like you see other people start complimenting you on it.
Even PJ changed Amari after he called him. We don't want to talk about that now, PJ.
Hey, come on now. You can't, for real? That's what we're going to do.
It ain't too many people got billionaires in their phones.
Cool guy. It's a cool guy. All right. But here we go.
That's a life flex right there.
It is a live lecture, man. We got some more questions in the chat. So your trucking logistics has really paid off to make your delivery service work. Before you answer that, bro, shout out to the chat for being active right now.
Hey, man, how many people we got in the chat?
How many people we got in the chat? It's about, we had a peak of 13, I believe. Ooh. I don't even know. All right.
A peak of 13. Not bad, huh, Mari Mays?
You guys are getting active. Shout out to you guys, man.
Yeah, shout out to the chat. What's the thing about the trucking company again?
So your trucking logistics has really paid off to make your delivery service work. Even though the trucking company, in my opinion, was unsuccessful overall,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Walt Disney had a dishonorable discharge from the Navy and had 2 failed businesses before Disney was successful. Bill Gates, who did not graduate from MIT, even though they gave him an honorary degree, struggled. So did Steve Jobs. And something about Steve Jobs, a lot of people don't know, man. Steve Jobs, everybody knows him from Apple. But did you know Steve Jobs, he started Pixar right there in our backyard, Richmond, California.
Yeah, I think I remember reading something about that, like that he was affiliated with it. I didn't know that he really was like one of the people that was behind the scenes and stuff like that.
He was the guy. Okay.
Oh, Miss Tanya in the building.
We got Chief Thurman in the building. No losses, all lessons. Shout out to
Tanya. They active tonight.
We bringing out some real OGs tonight.
We got some more questions in the chat.
Hey, triple.
Yeah, man. We got a lot of questions in the chat.
Y'all better hurry up, man. You know these old folks got to get to sleep.
They do, man. What was the funniest DoorDash delivery from Jalen Lee? We asked the first story.
I don't know about the funniest DoorDash, but I know what the most famous DoorDash delivery was.
What was it?
Stephen Curry.
Oh. Yeah, I know it was Stephen Curry. I remember you telling us that story.
Steph Curry? Mm-hmm. What happened, man, for people that don't know?
I get a DoorDash delivery. I'm working out of Walnut Creek on this one. This is about 2.5 years ago. I'm working in Walnut Creek. I get a DoorDash delivery to go to that, what's the vitamin shop? You guys familiar with that?
No.
Vitamin shop. Okay, so they had like some kind of protein shake or something. It was a pick up a protein shake, just one. Protein shake was like $12, but they tipped like $10. I'm like, okay. I take the protein shake. I had to drive to Alamo. I'm like, damn, I don't want to really go to Alamo. I drove to Alamo. It's a mansion. So when I pull up, the guy's like, just drive straight back. He opened the gate up. It was like a big granite gate. He opened the gate up. It was a mobile dog wash detail thing to my left. The dogs were getting service at the end of the driveway. Driveway is like,
that's crazy,
half a football field long, right? So, and then no cars in the driveway or nothing. To my right, it's like a 6-car, 7-car garage, but 2 of the doors was up. So when I'm driving up the driveway to my right, I look and I see, I'm like, damn, man, this dude whoever lived here got full size body armor pictures of Steph Curry. That's kind of weird. It ain't hit me. So I'm just rolling up the driveway. I get up to the driveway. I get out the car with the protein shake. A young lady comes out. It's not a guard shack. It's like a small office that's away from the house. I get out the car. She comes to the car and she meets me. I hand her the shake. She says, "Thank you." Oh, and by the way, the name of the customer was John Q. Public. That was the name on the dash. John Q. Public. None of this ain't hit me. I'm like, okay, John Q. Haha. So she takes the shake. I'm walking to the car. The door opens. I'm about 30 yards away from the door back to my car. And I'm about to get in the car, and Steph Curry runs out of the house. She hands him the shake. I say, holy shit. He turns around and laughs. And before I could even say, can I get a selfie? Can I get a picture? He runs back in the house. I said, man, ain't nobody gonna believe this shit. So I was just taking pictures on the way out of the garage and the pictures of the full size. The only thing I got as evidence is the pictures of and the house was on. I took a picture of the residence. It was his address on Livornia. I still got it. Livornia and Alamo. I took pictures of the garage and the pictures of the full size pictures and stuff. And that was it. That was crazy, man. That was crazy. That was my one-time claim to fame. That was it.
Hey man, Pat.
And Thomas LaFont.
Subscribers, man.
We hit 100 subscribers?
90. We hit 90.
Oh, we hit 90. Oh, I was about to say.
How many subscribers did we have before the pod started?
Like we had 87. So we got three more subscribers from this podcast, man. We were 10 away from 100.
I'm shocked, man. I really expected us to blow this thing up out the water tonight, bro. For real. I got all kind of phone calls, but it's that NBA finals
on the East Coast.
NBA finals, and then Amari was out cupcaking with his girlfriend, and
damn, man. Hey, leave a co-host alone.
I was at work.
I'm sorry.
I did a 7:30 before today.
Okay.
Hey, we shooting blanks right here on the Don't Overthink It podcast. All right, hold on. All right, so we got another question from Jalen Lee. Let me hear your top 3 artists in today's game.
In today's game.
Let's move quick.
Okay.
We got a lot. Actually,
this ain't overall, but just today's game. I'm gonna tell you, man. Man, it's hard to deny, man. Lil Baby is the guy, man.
He is.
Lil Baby is tremendous. The Baby, I like. I'm not naming like Drake and all that because Drake has been in the game for 15 years. So, and then third is a tie, man. I like Pooh Shiesty a lot, even though we might not see Pooh Shiesty for a minute. And
isn't he?
I like that whole. Listen, I like that whole Gucci Man 1017 camp, man. Because Gucci did something that was incredibly impressive. If I can touch on it for a minute, just we talking about that, and I know we got other questions. Look, Pooh Shiesty, Big Scar, Scar 30. Those guys are all from the same neighborhood in South Memphis. Them dudes was trying to push their stuff, and nobody in Memphis would sign them. Nobody wouldn't touch them. And then Gucci came and signed all 3 of those cats. And Shiesty has the #1 album in the country. 30 is like in the top 10. Fujiyama, man, listen. I'm very impressed, man, with what Gucci's doing as a label more than he's doing as an art. I love Gucci as an artist, but what he's doing as running a label, Gucci's sensational, man. He really is. I'm impressed with what he did. I'm impressed that he went to Memphis and signed those 3 cats. And he said in an interview that when he was young, he used to go to Memphis. He got family in Memphis. He used to go to Memphis every year. And he says that Memphis rap played a huge role in his career and his style of rap. And he went back and signed 3 tremendous artists. And that was very impressive.
Okay. That's my dog. But
I love another question. We got one more question from Jeremy Holman. We all want to know your secret recipe to your famous beans.
It's no secret, Jeremy. Listen, I ain't one of these cats. Look, I'm going to tell you something. If you like Jeremy had my beans? Okay. If Jeremy likes my beans. Oh, Jeremy, what's up, man? 5-0 in the building. Shundy died laughing. Hey, what's up, Jeremy? Hey, but listen. Man, I'm gonna tell you, man, it's no secret. I'm not one of these guys, I can't tell you. Man, it's just regular baked bean. You can use Bush or whatever. Baked bean. I use 3 types I use the Bush baked beans, And I use pork and beans. I love because pork and beans got that tomato sauce in it, give it a little bit of a little bit of flavor. But I use those beans. It's mustard. I'm sorry. What you want me to tell you? You wanted to know the recipe. Let me give you the recipe, man. It's baked beans, ground beef with onions and bell pepper. I cook the onions and bell pepper in the meat, not directly into the beans to give it more flavor. I use brown sugar or molasses, not both. A little bit of barbecue sauce, mustard. Am I missing something? That's it.
That's it.
That's it, dog.
Got Marlon Haynes. We got Marlon Haynes in the chat.
Oh, man.
That's slow.
Hey, Amari.
He's asking.
My brother showed up. It's a real you know what party now, boy.
Oh, man.
Got an R in this, you feel me?
He's asking what Marlon Haynes says. What about the
Hold up. Before Marlon's question, my brother went to school with somebody very famous. Who was it, PJ?
He went to school with a couple famous people. I don't know.
He went to elementary school with 8 Ball.
Nah, he doesn't count. He's not famous. He's
What?
famous. Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, bro, you might not never be able to go back to Memphis. You don't think 8 Ball famous? He got a platinum album. Amari, if a cat got a platinum album, does that make him famous?
Platinum.
Do you know who
got a platinum
album? Platinum
Okay.
is. Wait, what's platinum? Is it 10
A
million?
million? No, not diamond. That's diamond. He's
Okay,
platinum.
so
It
platinum.
ain't too many rappers selling 10 million albums.
I mean, that's an album. That's not a song. So that make
you
That's
know
an album, not a song. This is before Soulja Boy. This ain't no ringtone. What's the question, PJ?
Hold on, hold on, Mark. Do you know who 8 Ball is?
I don't.
You never heard of 8 Ball?
Okay.
Wow. It's a lot of famous people that
Is Jim Sales? Is Jim Sales? I talked to Jim Sales today. Is he in the chat?
No, he's not.
I don't know.
He hasn't said anything.
It's a little late, man. He in Iowa, man. He 3 hours ahead of us.
We might have some ninja watchers in here.
What's the question?
He just asked about the slaw. Oh yeah,
let me tell you. I was going to talk about that. Let me tell you something, man.
Wow.
I know Jeremy. I know you like the beans, man. I wish you could have tried my dad's coleslaw. It's legendary. My dad. I told my dad, man. I told him if my dad came to California and started a barbecue business, he'll put some folks out of business, bro. I mean, obviously that can't happen now, but man, my dad's coleslaw was legendary. Man, my brother called to talk about some damn coleslaw.
Yeah, man.
By the way, Marlon, happy birthday. It's midnight in the Central Time Zone. Happy birthday to my brother.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Tell BB I said what's up.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Let's
Looking, man. Question: if you can have a dinner with 3 celebrities, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Tupac.
just Tupac. Okay.
What? Y'all laughing about Pac?
No, I thought you just said just Tupac.
Tupac, Muhammad Ali,
Whoa.
Malcolm X.
Why?
Okay, go ahead, spill a little bit of beans about them.
All 3 were the greatest at what they did. Pac, dude. Pac been dead 96. Pac been dead almost 25 years. Dude. Even to this day, man, I mean, like, man, I probably bumped ambitions of a rider at least once a week, man, since he been dead. We just bumped Hail Mary the other day then with PJ on the ride to work. I mean, man, dude, Pac's songs are timeless. And by the way, I just turned PJ on to Shine, he's really liking that Shine and Barrington Levy.
The song is stuff.
Yeah, you like that Bad Boy and
Yeah.
But
That's song is stuff, bro.
and then as far as Muhammad Ali, what he did, man, he was winning. He was the world champion at a time when it was rough on Africans. Hell, it's been rough on African Americans forever. But you know, for him to be the champ of the world and convert to Islam and threatened to be jailed and had his belt stripped and he still didn't back down, man, Ali, man, and then talk that smack and knock your ass out at the same time. I mean, man, Ali was bad boy, man, you know. And then Malcolm X, man, this guy knew he was going to die, you know. Just to have that kind of courage, man. And just the fact that, I mean, you may not agree with, he changed. I mean, you know, he changed. He became a better man, you know. And he knew he had enemies, but, you know, the nation threatened him. Hey, man, we're going to put a muzzle on you. He didn't want to hear it, you know. And then once he realized that, you know, there were all different types of Muslims, all different kinds of colors and complexions of people, that it wasn't just about a specific color of people. It was about the character of people. It was impressive, you know. I know I didn't say Martin Luther King Jr. And he was killed in my hometown. But you asked for three, and it's hard to separate Martin without Malcolm.
Right.
And I think you have to put those guys together. Anytime you talk about one, I think you have to talk about the other, just because of that time that we were living in, you know. And I remember my mom telling me when Martin Luther King Jr. got killed, how the whole city was just shut down and everybody was just afraid, white and black, you know. And at that time, we had moved to Detroit. We lived in Detroit. My dad worked for General Motors for about 3 years. Then we moved back to Detroit because my mom said Detroit is worse than Memphis. So, but yeah, those are my four guys, you know, because I can't separate Martin and Malcolm. What else we got in the chat?
Nothing too much right now. What I was gonna ask was advice that you're giving to youngsters right now, since you already been through quite a lot, seen a lot. What advice you giving to us young folks right now, especially in the generation we in, and all the technology and everything that we have that's set for us just to be successful?
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it real, or as a youngster say, I'm gonna keep it 100. The three best things I can tell anybody, especially minority youngsters: keep your credit straight, don't get a felony, and don't have any kids out of wedlock. You do those three things, you're going to be very successful.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep your credit straight. Don't go to jail. Okay.
Wait on that a little bit. Let's
don't get a felony.
Don't get a felony. Okay. You can go to jail and not get a felony?
Sure you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man. Don't get a felony. Don't have children out of wedlock. All right. Yeah, like Mark. Let's elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's elaborate on all the three of those things that you mentioned.
Well, obviously, the credit thing is a big deal. I mean, they're all big deals, but like for different reasons. You know, it's just, if you can keep your credit straight and keep your credit clean, it's just so much easier to accomplish shit, man. It just really is, man. It's just like, if you don't have, if your finances are in order and your credit is in order, it's just so much easier to get stuff accomplished. You know, I know, man. I've been up and down for years on that credit thing. And I'm finally at the point. My wife called me yesterday, said, "Hey, you should think about getting a Dun and Bradstreet number." And here's the thing, you might not even, you guys may not even know what Dun and Bradstreet is. Dun and Bradstreet number is a number. It's like having credit for your business. And I would have never even thought about that, in the past. But as my business is growing, I want to attach it to a Dun and Bradstreet number, and then my business to be respected by other businesses that can see that I have good credit. That's important. I think you should keep that straight. The second thing is, as far as a felony, it's very difficult to overcome a felony. It's difficult. Jobs won't hire you. They run background checks. They used to run background checks for 10 years, but there have been some laws passed. They can run a background check on you up to 5 years unless you're applying for a federal job. If you're applying for a federal job, they can run it back forever. Or if you're applying for law enforcement, as Jeremy would tell you. But you don't want to do that. That's a very tough hurdle to overcome. You can do it, but it's extremely difficult. I know a great many people who couldn't get a job as felons, meant for their life to go to straight and narrow, and because they couldn't find a job as a felon released from prison, what's the only natural thing? To commit crimes to survive. So you don't want to ever get caught in that boat. That's huge. That should probably be number one. And then the third thing is, having a kid out of wedlock. I'm not some old-fashioned goody two-shoe. That's not what I am. But I think that if you can wait until you're married or super financial secure before you have kids, you do yourself an incredible favor, and you be doing the kid a favor. Because I'm telling you, girls and guys, they have a kid, they say, "Oh, the guy loves me," or "the girl loves me. It's going to work. I'm going to be with this person forever." And then, 6 months later, after the baby born, they didn't split up because daddy's still going to the club and mom's stuck at home with the baby. And then the daughter, she get frustrated. And now she done dropped the baby off for grandma. Grandma fussing, saying, "No, hell no. I'm trying to go to the club." So, not really, but that was funny. But grandparents, man, they've already raised their kids. Grandparents are to be grandparents, buy shit for holidays and be cool with the kids and whatever. They're not supposed to be raising kids, man. They're not supposed to be. The parents are supposed to be raising the kids. And all of that could be avoided by finding the correct mate. And you're better off finding the correct mate. You're better served if you don't have any kids until you're married or super financially stable to have kids. I mean, there are people who can co-parent and be okay and have kids out of wedlock. But since 50% of all marriages end in divorce anyway, you're just shooting the dice out the gate. So you might as well wait and find the right one, man, and just not have that heartache and heartbreak to deal with. And struggling, and you're trying to go to school and raise a kid and working 2 jobs, and then pretty soon you're not going to school at all because you're trying to focus on raising a kid and making ends meet. So that's just the best. If you don't do anything in life, if you have good credit, no kids, and no felony, you ahead of the game. A 5-star guarantee it.
Shoot, I understand that. Shoot, that's how I feel like I'm an anomaly when it comes to that, because that's how I grew up in a co-parent household. You feel me? But my dad's 100% in my life, and my mom. But I live with my mom though. But having the mindset of like the two parents that I have, and that they work so well with each other as friends and as parents, so allows me to do stuff like this and be on this type of platform and not end up doing something else just because of the type of lifestyle I had growing up with my parents if they didn't like each other or anything like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Maury. And I know both your folks. And they've done a great job with you, man. Tremendous. And I know they're very proud. Hell, I'm proud of you. You're not even my blood, you know, but we are extremely close, you know, and man, I'm really proud of you, man. And my son couldn't have had a better partner and co-host. And I'm very, very proud of both of you.
Yes, sir. Hey man, road to 100 subscribers.
Right? Yeah, y'all help us out. This is wild.
It's only been a month though, a full month. Wait, don't we hit like a full month? No, a full month's tomorrow. Actually, our first episode was June 21st.
And you guys you got 25 episodes in. That's impressive.
25 episodes in.
We about to hit 26 tomorrow. So in a full month, we would have 26 episodes.
This is the most consistent thing I've ever done in my life. This is crazy. Yeah, man.
And by the way, PJ, tell them don't forget to subscribe to Patreon.
Oh, snap! Hold on.
Hey, man.
Hold on. Let me stop everything real quick. Hold on. I need a soundboard. I got to tell you guys about a place. All right.
Amazing place.
A special place. All right.
Fantastic place.
Fantastic place where all the boys and the girls and cats and dogs, they come together and they combine as one. We're the most loyal disciples of the Don't Overthink It podcast. Congregate and call home. That place is the Patreon. That place is the Patreon. Right? You, loyal disciple, for $5 a month. $5 a month. You could be included in the inner circle.
Right now.
Right. Join the Patreon. Join the Patreon.
Join Patreon.
Join the Patreon.
Support the podcast.
Hey, we got content on there. Wait, not yet. But
we do have to know. There's definitely content on there. It's on there, yes.
Okay.
There's a bonus podcast on the Patreon.
On there. Check out the Patreon. Uncut.
Yeah.
Amazing content. Go join the Patreon right now. Starting the chain in the chat.
Shout out for this chat start a W. Shout out for the W.
Hey, we need 9 more subscribers. We're trying to hit 100 by tomorrow. Our goal is to hit 100 subscribers a month. Let's get it. We need everybody to share this to everybody you know. Share it, repost it, do everything. We need to hit 100 subscribers by tomorrow. But we appreciate everybody who's been in here. We're so thankful for everybody who supported us this far. Not only just a month doing this, man. Hitting 91 subscribers, man. I'm not saying that we didn't think that we was going to do that because we got dreams and visions way beyond this, man. But growing from 0 subscribers to this, man, it's a blessing. You know, trying to be humble about it. I know my co-host.
Yo, do we have somebody in the Patreon? Do we got Marlon Haynes a part of the Inner Circle?
Hey, we got 92 subscribers right now. We ate away, man. Keep subscribing. Keep reposting it, man. Gotta hit it tomorrow, man.
We got and one more thing, Amari.
Yes, sir.
In addition to that, join the Patreon. We want to get to 100 subscribers, but also contact Patrick Haynes, Haynes Catering and Delivery Service. We do weddings, barbecues, even bar mitzvahs. Contact.
Nice.
Support the Black-owned business. Support the podcast and support the Patreon. We appreciate everybody in here. Pat, go ahead. You got something to say?
That was a long advertisement. Yeah, no.
It wasn't no black folks that did this. It was some niggas. I'm sorry. My wife gonna kill me. All right.
Hey, man, we appreciate everybody for being in here tonight. You guys show some real love, man. Appreciate Big Pat in the building, man. Showing some love and being on the podcast tonight, man. You did your thing. We appreciate all your knowledge and all your wisdom and your seasonedness, all in the podcast tonight. All your jokes, everything, man. Y'all have a great night. We're going to catch y'all later. It's been Young and Head in.
Patrick Haynes.
And it's been the Don't Overthink It podcast, episode 25.
Special guest, Big Pat in the building.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Episode 25. All right, y'all.
We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
The dash busy, the schedule busy. My head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie. My cousins are crazy, my cousins like boogie. Life is amazing, it is what it should be. Been here for 10, but I feel like a rookie.